Hey everybody, this is TJR. Since bringing up this release in one of my recent videos, a number of viewers have been asking me to review the new Deluxe Blu Ray release of the original 1925 version of The Lost World. This is that video. The Lost World is a 1925 American silent motion picture adapted from Arthur Conan Doyle's 1912 novel of the same name. The film was produced by First National Pictures, a major Hollywood studio of the day, and stars Wallace Beery as Professor Challenger. It was directed by Harry Hoyt and featured pioneering stop-motion special effects by Willis O'Brien. Willis O'Brien, of course, would be best known for his work on the movie King Kong. This deluxe edition has been released by Blackhawk Films and Flicker Alley. For decades now, this film has only been available in a very truncated form. The original 10-reel version has been lost for ages, but some new recent footage has been discovered over the last couple years. This new release, while still not 100% complete, represents the most complete version that has been available for more than 80 years. I'm going to begin this review by talking about the bonus features that are featured on this new edition first, and then talk about the motion picture and the restoration itself. First of all, there are deleted scenes. I'm impressed that we have deleted scenes from a movie that was made back in 1925. Now, these were restored from a nitrate reel that was found in 1993. These deleted scenes feature none of the actors, but are instead deleted animation scenes. Some of these are scenes that were actually used in the film but went on for too long. Some were earlier attempts of scenes that were used in the film, but for whatever reason were considered not quite right, not good enough for the final film. These deleted scenes are completely silent, and every once in a while you actually do see the animators in frame before the action begins. These deleted scenes are fun if you are a fan of stop-motion animation, and I really do feel that stop-motion animation is one of the main reasons why you would probably be interested in this film. In fact, I would say that it's this film's special effects that were the primary star of this motion picture when it first came out. There are also 3 short films from animator Willis O'Brien. The first is the oldest of them. It's from 1917, and it's entitled RFD 10,000 BC. This is a complete 100% animated film short. It's a comedy, and a prehistoric comedy short. This film, after you watch it, you're going to realize, okay, this is the original Flintstones. This is the precursor to the Flintstones, and this is where the inspiration for that TV series must have originally come from. Another interesting thing is that this film was made for producer Thomas Edison. Yes, that Thomas Edison. The second short film is from 1918. It's called Ghost of Slumber Mountain. It is a short written and directed by Willis O'Brien, combining live action with stop-motion animation. Finally is Creation. This is from 1930, and it's 5 minutes of an uncompleted film that combines live action with animation. While never completed, it was this film that convinced movie producer Marion C. Cooper to hire Willis O'Brien to do the special effects on the original King Kong. A brief side note, King Kong, the original motion picture, would capture the imagination of Ray Harryhausen, who would go on to create stop-motion animation effects for films like Jason and the Argonauts, the Sinbad films, and the original Clash of the Titans. Also included is an image gallery featuring memorabilia and production materials from the motion picture, and a commentary track by film historian Nicholas Ciccone. The enclosed booklet features photographs and an essay regarding the restoration, giving you quite a bit of information on that, and also another essay from Robert Israel, who composed the new score for this release. When it was released, The Lost World was the most successful motion picture of 1925. It was essentially that year's equivalent to our special effects blockbusters of today. Audiences were completely wowed by its special effects. True, these effects seem primitive by today's standards, but at the time, audiences were absolutely astounded by what they were seeing and couldn't understand how what they were seeing was possible. As I watched this film, I couldn't help but notice the similarities between this motion picture and the next motion picture that Willis O'Brien would work on, which of course is King Kong. In both films, a group of explorers seek out and find a lost world hidden from civilization. In this lost realm, they discover prehistoric creatures long since thought to be dead for centuries. They have battles with these creatures. They bring one of these creatures back to civilization with them. Said creature breaks loose and runs rampant in the modern world. One of the main differences being that in King Kong, it's New York. In The Lost World, it's London. Of course, one of the other main differences between King Kong and The Lost World is that in King Kong, it's the creature being brought to civilization that is the primary focus of the movie. In The Lost World, it's just a random brontosaurus that they happen to capture. Also, the brontosaurus fares quite a bit better than King Kong does, but I don't want to give away too much. As for this Blu-ray's new 2K restoration, I'd say it's pretty astounding. Given the age of this motion picture, given the fact that most of the 35mm prints are lost to time, given the fact that mostly they had to source from 16mm nitrates, this restoration is quite incredible. In fact, the film hasn't just been restored, it's been completely reconstructed. The actual image quality does vary, though, from scene to scene, and this has a lot to do with the source materials that are available. But overall, I would say that this restoration is better than we have any right to expect. I found the film's commentary track to be entertaining and extremely informative, and you will find out a lot more about the production of the film, what is still missing, what has been recently added, and the different sources that were used to do this restoration. You're also going to find out a lot more of that as well from the enclosed booklet too. I've watched this movie twice now, both as the silent movie with music and also with audio commentary track, and I've enjoyed it both times. There is one more thing that, unfortunately, I do need to discuss with you if you are considering watching this movie. In both the original book and the 1925 motion picture, there is a character named Zambo. In the book, Zambo is a black South American guide, and in the film's commentary track, film historian Nicholas Saccone informs us that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was considered progressive for his time and depicted Zambo as a heroic character, something uncommon for the entertainment media of that time. However, in the film, Zambo is portrayed as a comic relief character. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, except that the director's idea of comic relief is to portray him as an offensive blackface stereotype. This includes having the character portrayed by a white man in blackface. Now, as a fan of vintage theatrical cartoon shorts from the 1930s and 40s, I am no stranger to watching exaggerated and sometimes offensive racial depictions in the media that I consume, and this includes depictions of my own ethnicity. I oftentimes refer to these kinds of ethnic depictions on film as a kind of casual racism that was acceptable for the time. Now, I don't believe that vintage films like this should ever be censored, but I do find it sometimes depressing to see just how acceptable this kind of casual racism was. I bring this up as a forewarning before you watch, and especially if you are thinking of showing the film to any children of a certain age, where you might want to have a conversation either before or after watching it with them. This original version of The Lost World is certainly a landmark in cinema history. It's also a landmark film in special effects as well. But as I watch this film, I still realize that what I'm watching is sadly incomplete. There are moments where I feel like, wait a minute, we missed something, but that there's nothing that can be done about it. At least not yet. This is the most complete version that's available at this time, and it may be the most complete version that we'll ever be able to see. So I would certainly recommend you watch it. But we can only hope that at some point in time, perhaps maybe, the footage that is still missing will be found. For decades, Fritz Lang's silent science fiction masterpiece Metropolis was only available in a truncated form like The Lost World. And a few years back, a lost print was finally found, and now we have pretty much a 99% complete version of the film available to us. So who knows? Maybe someday film reels will be found and we will get a more complete version, if not a complete version. And so here's hoping that day comes. But in the meantime, if you have any interest in motion picture history, you definitely need to check out this version. This is TJR. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for everybody for encouraging me to do a review of this release. Have you seen this yet? What are your thoughts? I'm curious to know. I'll be looking forward to checking out your comments. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.